Hey guys, it's me, and today I am hoping I can get this haul video filmed before the lighting becomes absolutely bad, because it is starting to get late. It is almost 4 p.m. So hopefully the lighting will remain decent. I know that's a big favor to ask when it's overcast, but hey, let's try for it. So if you're curious about the makeup that I'm wearing today, I did a chit chat get ready with me where I did this look and everything, talked about life and stuff and whatnot. So if you want to see me do this look, that was probably the previous video that just went up. Originally I was gonna do like a big collective haul video, but I decided that I'm just gonna do two separate ones. One that's dedicated to beauty, more specifically makeup in this particular video, and then I'm gonna do another haul video that is gonna be centered around fashion. And so the fashion video, I'm not gonna film that one for probably another couple of weeks, just simply because I do have some orders that are being sent to me, and then not only that, but I also need to do a little bit more clothes shopping and everything, because I just need to get a couple of few things for work. Let's go ahead and get started, because I do have quite a few things to haul off for you guys today. The oldest purchase that I have here, I purchased during Black Friday. So that is how far back we're going with this collective haul. So yeah, if you guys like haul videos, if you like me, if you like potentially dodgy lighting and everything because it's overcast and there might be rain on the way, I don't know, because there is a massive gray cloud right in front of me. Before we get into this, if you guys are new here to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, and also while you're down there, definitely give this video a thumbs up because that'll help me out a lot. All my links are down in the description box below, which are the links to my Twitter, Instagram, and my music channel, so definitely check me out in those places if you are interested. And let's go ahead and get started. I guess I'll start out with the item that I purchased all the way back during Black Friday, and that is this guy right here. This is from Urban Decay, and that is the Naked Metal Mania palette. I'm not 100% sure if this palette is still available. It might be gone now at this point, or it might just be exclusively on Urban Decay's website. I don't know. I really wanted this palette right from the get-go. Is it a basic bitch juice palette with some pops of fun metallics? Absolutely. But I don't know, there's just something about this palette that just really called out to me. I don't know if it's because of the fact that it's a reference to like the metal scene, more specifically like classic like glam rock and everything. Like I don't know if like that's what appealed to me, like the glam rock, the hair metal. Like I don't know if it was like that aspect of it, or if it's just like, no, this is a basic bitch juice palette that I could get behind. I don't know, but I have used this palette a couple of times and I do like it. I think that it's a nice quality palette. It's a great color story and everything, and I'm happy to have this guy in my collection. Do I think that it's revolutionary? Absolutely no. I mean, like I mentioned, I bought this during Black Friday when it went on sale for 50% off, so yeah, because I wasn't going to pay full price for this guy to begin with, but paying 50%, I could make do with that. So yeah, I do like this guy though. Now let's just start pulling out random things and start talking about them. So I guess I'll start out with talking about some things that I picked up from Makeup Geek. I picked up a couple of things during their final closing sale that they had right at the beginning of the year. And one of the things that I picked out is not what's inside this compact, but the actual compact itself. And that is just this empty magnetic compact here from them, because I had this highlight here that I had in this palette right here, which we'll go over the contents of this palette in a moment, because I did pick up some singles. And I got this compact because I had this highlighter which is Celestial, and it's a beautiful color. It's like a clear white base with like a pinky lavender sheen to it. It's really pretty. I really like it. It looks really good on me. A lot more shiny and blinding than I was expecting it to be, which no shade to it at all and whatnot. I just wasn't expecting it to be as bright. Because it was in this palette right here that I curated for myself and everything, I kept this palette in my palette drawers. So I would always forget to reach for this guy because this guy wasn't in with the rest of my face products. And since moving it into my face drawer, I actually have been reaching for it more. So this little compact That's come in handy. I think I got that as well as the 3 single shadows that I have here through that Makeup Geek order. I think they were all like $1 each, and then shipping was like, I think like $5.99, so I only paid about like $10 for all of these things. Now, when it comes to the single shadows that I purchased 3 of these guys, these 3 right here, for $1 each and everything in that same order that I got the compact in. I already had like this palette and all the other singles that are in here, which are all by Makeup Geek, including this guy right here. This was the original round pan formula. And if you're curious about the shades that I have in here that I have beforehand, the foiled round pan here is Limelight. Then one of these 2, I'm not sure which is which because I can't remember and I don't feel like lifting up the pans to tell you guys which ones they are. But one of these is going to be Pink of Me and the other is Pinky Promise. This guy is Lavender Dreams. This is Hot Tamale. And this guy is Unleashed. Now the 3 that I picked up in the order that I got the compact in with is Kind Obsessions. If you catch that reference, then you obviously watch Marlena's videos. And then there is Staycation, which I want to say I might have even had Staycation in a round pan at one point. It sounds familiar to me and the color is familiar to me, but who knows. And then we have Meant to Be. And I think that this little color story that I have curated here is a really fun one. Like, is it matte heavy? Absolutely. I wish that I could have had maybe like another like shimmer, maybe like a purple shimmer. I know that I had Nostalgia, which was their foiled lavender shadow, but I decluttered that when I did my makeup collection declutter video at the end of 2023, and I kind of wish that I would have kept it. If I would have known that I was going to be doing something like this and everything, I probably would have kept it. But at the same time though, it's just like, I'm not mad about decluttering it though, because I have a metallic lavender and another palette of mine in my collection that I like just a little bit more. Anyways, I really like this little color story though. I think that it's fun. It's pretty cohesive. It's like pinks and purples with some pops of green. I think that it's fun and springy. So yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? I just thought about this. It kind of reminds me of the Le Jardin Volume 2 palette from Kylove in a way. I just thought about that. But like very matte and everything. Got these guys through Sephora at different points in time. I can't remember in which orders and which trips I got all these guys on. So I'm just gonna grab these things randomly and touch on them and whatnot. So yeah, so this first guy that I have here, this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer in the Hydrating formula. And I picked this up through Sephora during the 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta, because during the 21 Days of Beauty, Sephora will match the prices on some of the things that are on sale at Ulta during the 21 Days of Beauty, or how Ulta now calls it. I think they call it now the semi-annual sale at Ulta now, which I don't get why they're doing that, but whatever. I picked this up through Sephora because there was something else that I needed to pick up from Sephora at the time. So I ordered this guy because none of the Sephoras near me, like the one in the Kohl's that's like 10 minutes away from me, and then the freestanding store that I like to go to and prefer to go to, neither of them carry Smashbox, because Smashbox I think is online only for Sephora now. And so I was just like, let me just go ahead and order it, because the other thing that I want to get from Sephora is also online only. And I will go ahead and touch on that guy real quick, and that is this blush here. And this is from KVD, and this is the Everlasting Blush in Foxglove. Now I actually had a shade, I think it was Poet? I could be wrong. I can't remember the name of the shade, but I had gotten a shade of this blush here through a vendor, and I love the formula. It's just that the color did not work for me. It would always just look a bit bruisey on me. It was a very like purpley mauve, and it was very pretty, but it just did not work for me. But this guy, stunning, absolutely gorgeous on me. love this. Like, this is one of the very few powder blush formulas that I genuinely love. Like, if you've been keeping up with me for a long time, and whether it be through like following me through like creating content over the years, or even if you know me in my personal life, you know that I am a cream blush bitch. You know that I am typically not a fan of powders. I prefer a cream blush. That is just my thing and whatnot, because I love how customizable they are, and you can have them be quite sheer. I do think that they might be discontinuing this blush formula just simply because there's only but a handful of shades on Sephora's website, and there's also a handful of shades on Ulta's website. So it does make me question whether or not that they are doing away with this formula, but still, it is beautiful. It is a lovely little formula. I got this during a sale. If you watch the full face first impressions video that I did, which was probably most of none of you because that video flopped for whatever reason, I picked up this guy. This is from Melt, and this is the Deadly Nightshade Duo Cream Blushlight and Highlight, and this was from the Nightmare Before Christmas collection, and I picked this up during a sale that they had probably 2 months ago now at this point, and I picked up this guy as well as a couple of other things, which I wound up returning the other things, which the other things that I picked up in that order were a Natasha Denona palette, which I returned. It was the retro palette. It was just a bit too monochromatic for me, and also just really deep and smoky, and I need more lighter tones and palettes because I like more gradients. I also like having palettes that are more versatile as well, and that palette just turned out to be way too monochromatic for me. So I returned it, and I also wound up getting the My Dream palette from Natasha Denona. Tried it out, and the multi-chrome in it constantly creased on me, and I was just like, I ain't gonna keep this palette where the star of the show is an absolute dud for me. So I wound up returning that as well. But in that original order that this guy was in, as well as the retro palette, I also picked up the mini Bronze and Glow duo, and it did not work out for me. Like, the bronzer was way too warm and the highlight was way too dark for me. But this guy though was a win. Like, I love this highlight. I have the highlight on today. I did put on a different highlight on originally, but it just wasn't giving enough, so I put this on top of it. So you might see like a little bit of like a purpley pink sheen with the highlight that's in this, because this is like more of like a champagne pale gold kind of color, which normally these kinds of highlight shades don't look good on me, but this one does, and I just think that it's just so pretty and lovely. It's a beautiful formula, and I also really love this blush that's in here. The formula on the cream blush is beautiful. It just looks so lovely on the skin, and it's just beautiful. I'm not wearing the blush today either, but it's a beautiful color for me. I love this color. It's a more cool tone, more pink version of this next blush that I have here. And this I purchased in a different Sephora purchase. And this guy is from LYS. It's one of their Higher Standards cream blushes, which I love this formula. I have another shade in this formula, which is the shade Kindness, which is a neutral peach. But this guy is the shade Inspire. And when you see this guy in the pan, you're probably gonna be like, that is way too dark for you. But these guys sheer out so beautifully. Like, going with a light hand, and this just gives you like a very warm, like corally peach blush tone, and it is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and I just love it. Like, it's like I mentioned, it's very similar to what's in this duo here. Like, as you guys can see, it's like this one's a bit more like pinky, this one is a bit more orangey, like this one's more cool, this one's more warm. Like, I'll do some like swatches and everything just so you guys can see that they are different. So this one's Inspired, this one is from the Deadly Nightshade duo. As you can see, the Deadly Nightshade, like I said, is more of that peachy pink kind of tone, and Inspire is more of that like peachy coral. So yeah, they look similar in the pan, but they are very different once they're actually on the cheeks, and they just are beautiful blush shades for me. And I got Inspire because it's very similar to the Color Wash in the shade Youth from Kyla, which I loved that cream blush so much. It was so pretty, but for whatever reason, I don't know what it was. Like, the packaging on the color wash in Youth and Play just made me so freaking nervous and just filled me with so much anxiety that I was just like, this thing is gonna go bad. It's gonna go bad. Like, this is gonna get moldy. Like, this is gonna, like, not hold up and live very well. Like, I was just way too paranoid about that thing after I had it for a year, and I was just like, I need to get something that I know I can trust the packaging on, and I can trust this packaging a lot more than I could trust that one, because it was just like cardboard packaging with a strong magnet on it. Like, I could trust this over that packaging, and I also know that I love this formula, so I was just like, let me just do it. And Kyla doesn't exist anymore. They went out of business a long time ago. The foundation that I'm wearing today, and this is something that I had a sample of made for me a while back, and I bit the bullet and got it because it went on sale for 50% off. I think it was also during the 21 Days of Beauty, but this is only carried at Sephora, so I don't really know why Sephora put it on sale during that period of time. They just did, I guess, for whatever reason. But it is the Bounce Skin Tint from Beauty Blender, and I have the shade Light 2, and this is a perfect match for me. This is one of the very few complexion products that I have found, like foundations at least, that is a perfect match for me. And it's a skin tint, so it doesn't have a whole lot of coverage to it. You can definitely build it up. Like, I know I tend to build it up mostly just right in the center here, but then I tend to make sure that it's like nice and feathered out, a bit more sheer towards the perimeters of the face. And I just love this. It's just so nice. It looks so beautiful on the skin. It's so lightweight, and I just love this. I love this so much, and this little guy is gonna last me for fucking ever. Final thing that I have from Sephora, this is from Patrick Ta, and this is one of his newer shades in his double take cream and powder blush duos, and this is in Not Too Much. The packaging on this is really pretty. Like, I do like the mirrored packaging on products and whatnot, but as you can see, like, it has fingerprints all over it now at this point. Beautiful. Like, it's a very like neutral tone blush duo. So you get your powder down here and you get your cream up here, which the cream has a little lid on it, so that way you don't get powder in there. And it also has a really nice mirror. I really like this. I've only ever used it once so far, and I used both the cream and the powder. Like, I started out with the cream and then I put the powder on top. I want to try them out individually and see how I feel about them, because I do like both colors individually as well, because I love a good neutral tone blush. And I got this because, for one, I've been really curious about trying out these duos, but also because I needed a new neutral toned blush, because the one that I had for the longest went bad on me. Like, it started getting moldy, and I was just like, oh, it's time for this guy to go. Which, if you're curious about what that blush was, it was the Super Shock blush from ColourPop In Between the Sheets. Beautiful neutral tone, and this guy is fairly similar to it, or at least the cream in here is fairly similar to it. The powder, I feel, is a bit more warm than that one is, whereas the cream in here is very close to Between the Sheets. So if you like the color of the cream that's in this duo, but you don't want to spend, like, what is this, like $36, $38? It's expensive. It's expensive. If you don't want to spend that price tag on this guy, then go with the ColourPop one. Went to TJ Maxx about maybe a month-ish ago, and while I was in there, I went there with a friend of mine. The two of us were hanging out that day, and I was just like, hey, want to hang out while I go run errands, and we can go window shopping while we're out and everything. And it turned into me buying things at TJ Maxx and whatnot. Like, I actually bought more at TJ Maxx than this. Like, I also bought a Laura Geller palette, which is just trash and everything. Like, when I bought it, I didn't inspect the palette to make sure that it was in good condition, and when I got it home, I saw that the highlighter was completely shattered, so I'm like, oh, god damn it, now I gotta keep it. So I doctored it, and then I started using it, and I was just like, this is a trashy ass palette. It was $8, but still, like, I have Standard. I really wanted to try that palette out because like I've been wanting to get like a couple of neutral palettes and everything, like basic bitch juice neutral palettes, just so I can have some options for those, because most of my palettes are more colorful. And so I was just like, let me try this out. And I've also been wanting to try stuff out from Laura Geller in general, because I've heard so much about her brand over the years, and it just did not live up to the expectations at all. And then I think it was about maybe a week later, I think it was Jen Love had mentioned in a video that Laura Geller's products are more so geared towards like middle-aged suburban women who don't like a whole lot of pigment in their products. And I was just like, god damn it. First thing that I'm going to be showing you guys is this guy here, and I was shocked to see this. And this is a product that I've been curious about trying out for years, and that is the Lorac Pro 4 palette. Now, I wasn't necessarily wanting to try out this particular Pro palette from Lorac. The one that had always called out to me was the Pro 2 because of the navy that was in it. Because when that palette first came out years and years and years ago, I remember seeing that navy and just being like, oh my god, that is so pretty. I want that palette. And it was also like cool tone neutrals, which back then, like the Naked 2 was like running wild and people were just like over the moon and happy about it. And like the Naked 3 came out, people were like, ooh, rosy tones. And then like the Pro, I think the Pro 3 was more rosy tones from Lorac as well. But this is the Pro 4. I have used this palette and I really like the formula on it. I got on well with this formula, and I got a very similar look out of this palette that I did with the retro palette from Natasha Denona in that Chicheka Ready With Me that I did. And I was so livid about it because I only spent about like, I think like $13 on this guy. This formula is just as good in my opinion. I can create similar looks with this palette as I could that Natasha Denona, but I can also see myself doing much more with this than that Natasha Denona palette as well. And I like it. I think it is a nice little palette. It's a nice little color story. Really nice formula. And it also came with a little baby thing of her eyeshadow primer as well, which I've heard good things about over the years. And I also needed a new eyeshadow primer as well. So it kind of worked out that this was happening. And I was even thinking to myself, like, once I tried this palette out and the palette doesn't work out for me, if it doesn't work out for me, I'll at least have an eyeshadow primer that I need. So yeah, but I like both. I really like this eye primer. I used it today, and I also really like this eyeshadow palette. And then the final thing that I got from TJ Maxx that I'm going to show you guys, I was shocked to find this. It was the only one that they had of this palette, and it hadn't been touched, which shocked me. And I have used this guy, and it is, I knew that it would be good because I've had palettes from this brand before. I have palettes from this brand, and that is the Huda Beauty Wild Python Obsessions palette, which packaging on it is so fun. But this is the inside of it. It is a very fun, bright color story, really like springy, summery kind of tones going in it, and it's just beautiful. It is beautiful. I created a look using this guy about a week ago maybe, and it just turned out so beautiful. It turned out really good. It was a very summery kind of vibe that I had going on with that look that day, and it's just a beautiful palette, beautiful color story. And I also love the embossing on this center shade. Let me dim down the exposure. Like the scales on it, just so cool. Really happy with this guy. And again, I think I only paid about $13 for this. So yeah, I'm not afraid to go makeup shopping at TJ Maxx. I'm not. I've done it many times before over the years. The final set of things that I have to show you guys are from Lunar Beauty. So I placed an order on Lunar Beauty. When did I place this order? Was it in February? I think it was in February. And I ordered 3 things. And the first thing that I have here is this lipstick. So this is, I can't remember what these guys are called, but it's just like the Lunar Beauty lipsticks. And I picked up the shade Mystic, and this formula is beautiful. It is a beautiful formula. I don't know if I've used this on camera or not, but it is just a beautiful formula. If you don't know who Lunar Beauty is, by the way, it is Mania makeup brand, and I really enjoy his brand. I've had multiple palettes of his over the years. I now have 4 palettes in my collection. Again, I had 4 palettes from him before, but I decluttered one of them. That was the Moonspell Volume 2. And the only reason why I decluttered it was because it had a lot of shades in it that I had in other palettes throughout my collection. And I was just like, I don't need this palette as well. So I decluttered it. And it was also a bigger palette. When it comes to like really big palettes, I tend to not really be that into them. This is one of their lipsticks. It has this beautiful moon right here, which when you click it, the bullet pops out. And this is the color itself. It's this beautiful like rosy mauvey tone, and the embossing on this is just beautiful. Oh my god. I love these kinds of colors, like the dusty mauvey rosy tones. Love those kind of nudes on me. And then the formula on this is just gorgeous. I definitely want to get more of these lipsticks. I was close to getting the shade Milk Tea, but those kinds of nudes are very iffy for me and whatnot when they're just like kind of like that neutral beige peachy nude kinds of nudes. Like those can be a bit hit or miss for me, and so I was a little bit nervous about getting that one, but I knew that I would probably like this shade, and I love this shade. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then I also picked up one of their liquid lipsticks, and this is in the shade Sailor, which this is a limited edition shade for the Siren Sunset collection. And I love this color as well. And I also love this formula. It is a liquid lipstick formula, but it's not one of those that has a full matte dry down. It's more so just gonna be like a melted down matte lipstick. So it's gonna be that comfort matte. It's not one of the velvet mattes that are really popular right now, like saying like the velvet lips from Anastasia, or that one liquid lip formula that Rihanna launched last year with Fenty, with MVP that she wore during the halftime show last year, or even like the soft matte lip creams from NYX. Is not that kind of formula. It's not that kind of matte formula. Like those, I find those to be very drying. I've had so many liquid lipsticks of that kind of formula over the years, and I find that formula to be extremely drying. This is a really comfortable formula, and I love these kinds of colors, like those like taupey, browny, grungy, grayish kinds of tones. I love these kinds of browns. And when he announced that this was like a limited edition shade and that it was for this collection, I was like, I need that. I need that liquid lip. It better not sell out by the time I get the funds to get it. And sure enough, it stuck around long enough for me to get it. And can we just talk about this component? Like, the other half, cool beans. Like, the black gradient to like the color down here, cool, that's fine. This cap, this diamond, bitch, so cool. I really want to try out his lip oils because I've heard a lot of good things about his lip oils, and I am a lip product snob. I love a good lip oil. I'm wearing one today. The one that I'm wearing today is the new like lip gloss oil from House Labs in Praline. Love this formula. Love this formula a lot more than the original lip oil formula from her. This one I just find is a lot more hydrating and more comfortable. I found like the original one was oddly drying. Yeah, I didn't like that formula. Really like this guy, really like the color, love the formula. Just, I need to try out more of these liquid lips, and I need to try out that lip oil formula from him. I'm not too concerned about trying out the gloss formula, just simply because I'm not really a gloss person. I have one other gloss in my collection aside from this gloss oil from House Labs, and that is this one from Sugar Pill and Bloom. I don't need any other gloss besides this guy because this color is just stunning. But the last thing that I have for this Lunar Beauty order, and the last item that I have in this haul video, is this palette, and I'm wearing the palette today as well, and that is the Siren Sunset palette. I love this palette. This is my second time using it today, and I went for a bit more of like a more softer, more subdued kind of look today. But the first look that I did using this palette, I went in, honey. I went in. But this is the color story for it, and you might be thinking like, oh, that's a little bit simple and whatnot. There are multi-chromes in here, and it is just beautiful. Like, there are multi-chromes, duochromes, specialty shades all throughout this palette, and it is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I really love the formula on this guy, and I mean, I just love the Lunar Beauty shadow formula in general. Like I mentioned, I have a lot of their palettes already, and I just love their formula a lot. And I really want to try the new highlighter palette that they just put out with the Moonshroom collection. I really want to try that one out. The palette from that collection, it's nice, it's pretty. It's not necessarily for me though, but I do like the concept behind it. But that highlighter palette, I really want to get. So I might place an order within maybe like the next month or two, probably next month or the month after, maybe, I don't know. Not anytime soon, not this month at least. And I'll probably pick up that highlighter palette as well as maybe like a lip pull and another liquid lipstick from him. But yeah, really love this palette and color story. Like, the colors in here are just so beautiful. Look at these. Like, the shine on these is just unreal. Just absolutely insane. It is insane. Like, it's making me want to get one of those liquid shadows from Danessa Myricks. She has one of those liquid shadows that's like this Temptra shade here, where it's like that more like just blued purple duochrome, and it's just absolutely insane. Like, I really want that one. I really do. I don't know when I'll get it though. And let me just say this, because like I mentioned before, I had like that Natasha Denona My Dream palette for a split second. When it comes to multi-chromes and specialty shades in general, go to indie brands. Don't go to like the big, well-established brands that have investors, like these big luxury brands. Don't go after them. Go for the indie brands, because they know what it is that they're doing. And this is like Lunar Beauty's first dive into multi-chromes, and they are this good. And like, this is like my first like legit like exposure to multi-chromes is with this palette, and I have to say, stellar. And that, kids, is it for this makeup haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There was a fair amount of stuff in here, but I feel as if I got through everything pretty quickly. I also felt as if I had a whole lot more than I actually do. Like, I thought that I had way more stuff than this, but I don't know, maybe I just felt as if I got way more than I actually did. I don't know. But then again, like I mentioned earlier, I also returned some stuff. And then also I work in beauty retail, so I'm probably thinking like, I'm kind of like getting confused, like what I've gotten in gratis mixed up with what I've purchased as well. Especially since I'm full-time now at work, I'm going to be getting even more gratis, which I'm looking forward to that. But at the same time though, it's just like, I'm gonna have like a tiny little department store in my closet soon. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the fashion haul that I have lined up that'll be coming out soon. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure when I'm gonna be filming that just yet. It's probably gonna be a couple of weeks before I do so. And definitely keep your eyes peeled for that, because that is something that I have been wanting to do for a while, is just doing more like fashion content on this channel. I know I've been talking about how this is a beauty, fashion, lifestyle channel, but I haven't really explored the fashion aspect of that description on this channel since I launched it about a year ago now. As I'm when I'm filming this, I think I posted a first video on this channel about a year ago, I think now, which is wild to think about. But I am gonna go ahead and run away and leave you guys be, because I am hungry. I have to get my laundry out of the laundry room and start getting that put away and whatnot, and start just getting ready to wind down for the rest of the day. And all that good stuff, and preparing myself for working 5 days in a row. Yeah, we full time now, bitch. Have you guys tried out any of the items that I hauled off here today? If so, what are your thoughts and opinions on them? Or are you curious about trying out any of these things that I picked up today? Again, let me know, because I'd like to know. That is gonna be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until I see you guys in my next video, whenever that might be, goodbye.